Good Saturday morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for Racine Me. I'm Jessica Tighe. Do you know what a doula is? If not, you are not alone. But by the end of this show, you will. There's a group of doulas in Racine working to support families expecting new babies. Laura Jansson of Godsib Birth Support is joining us this morning. She is a doula and a childbirth educator. Thanks so much for coming in.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
This is really interesting because I feel like I'm getting an education on this too, because there are a lot of people out there who just don't know. So let's get straight to it. What exactly is a doula?
A doula is a new term for an old role. So this has been happening from time immemorial. It's women supporting women in labor. So you imagine a woman who's on the cusp of giving birth. She's about to bring new life into the world. She's full of excitement, but she may also have some trepidation.
Sure.
If it's her first baby, she maybe needs someone to be with her throughout the process of labor, to encourage her to say, this is normal, this is good, well done. Perhaps she has a supportive partner who's also willing to be there with her, but she needs someone who's objective, who's outside the situation, who has special training, who can offer her that encouragement from an intuitive level. And for people who are having their second or subsequent baby, perhaps they've had a difficult experience the first time round and they know they would like some extra support to do things differently another time.
So how is a doula different from, say, a midwife?
A midwife is a medical role, so a woman might engage midwifery care as an alternative to OB care. So a midwife is a highly skilled expert and highly trained expert in promoting normal birth, straightforward, natural birth. So usually midwives attend births at home, sometimes at hospital and in birth centres. A doula is a non-medical role. We don't provide any medical support. We leave that to the midwives
Sure.
and the doctors. But we provide the emotional support, the physical support, the informational support that people need in addition, because we see that birth is not just a medical event. Birth is a spiritual event, an emotional event, and a relational event. So it merits support in those additional areas too.
Sure, there's so many ways to support a mom-to-be, without a doubt. We're looking at some beautiful pictures right here of some of your clients. What exactly will you do at a birth? And I've personally looked at the list, and it's pretty unbelievable because it's everything from, say, offering kind words to driving the couple to the hospital. Tell me about some of the other things.
Right. Well, it starts before labor. So the foundational relationship between a doula and her clients is really the beginning. So we get to know a couple or a woman during the pregnancy, just so we can feel comfortable with each other, and so that a doula can learn her desires for her birth. And then during labor, yes, we do everything from feeding ice chips, squeezing her back in just that particular way that feels good at the time, communicating with friends and family members, so to act as a little buffer so that the woman who's in labor can focus on the work at hand, encouraging her to ask questions of her medical care providers so that all options are available to her at every moment, just encouraging words, mopping her brow, just small things that make a huge difference.
Almost in a way, in a nutshell, it's kind of anything that the new mother is looking for, it sounds like.
Absolutely. So it's tailor-made to each individual person's desires. So doula is an old Greek word for maidservant. That's what the etymology of it is. And so we act in that servant role, really, just doing whatever is needed at any moment.
And for you personally, why did you become a doula?
Well, the story began with my first pregnancy, and like many women, I became a voracious reader of anything to do with birth and pregnancy and this new life that was miraculously growing inside me, and how on earth it was going to get out at the end of this pregnancy, which is a question many people have. And so through that period, I began to look into my options, and I found that the best available evidence says that home birth is equally safe as an option for women with low-risk pregnancies if they're attended by a skilled professional. So I decided on a home birth for my first baby. I now have 3 children. And that was just a wonderful experience, and I wished that all people could have the same companionship, the same information, the same support that I experienced during that pregnancy, which enabled me to have such a beautiful, simple, satisfying birth experience.
Well, that sounds wonderful. And explain the name, Godsib Birth Support.
So Godsib is an Old English word for birth companion, and Godsib is short for God sibling. So God siblings are the mothers of one's God children, if you see what I mean. So,
Sure.
so it reflects the spiritual aspect of the care and the lifelong bond that I share with my clients.
Very interesting. And I'm sure there's some people wondering, hearing your accent, you're British, how did you come to live and work in Racine?
Right, I am British. I'm also a secret Californian. So I was born, I was born in California to Californian parents, and I grew up there till the age of 8. Then my family moved to England, which is why I came to sound the way I do today. I went to school in Britain. I went to university in Britain. I studied at Oxford. I studied theology and philosophy at Oxford University. And then I got the travel bug, and I ended up living in a couple of different countries: Fiji, Serbia, and Germany, which was where I met my husband, who happened to be from Racine. So now that we've moved back to raise our own children in Racine, life has kind of come full circle.
Oh, well, how great is that? And here you are in lovely Racine. We like that. Well, don't go far. Up next, we're talking about a new birth class series in Racine. That's right after this.